Welcome to the quest to get Daruvala the championship he deserves. We're here in Bahrain. We are doing a 14-part series of the F2 2023 content career mode, and we're going to get Daruvala the world title. We at least hope. We're going to give it our best shot as we kick off Bahrain. We're going to be doing one-shot qualifying for this F2 career mode. I did some video already on the F2 content for the 2023 side of things, and we had a good time actually racing these cars in Sao Paulo. Obviously, we won't be doing that circuit in the career mode, but we'll see what we can do here. We're going to be doing the proper format. We'll have the sprint and the main feature in each episode here, and it's going to be, I think, a fun time. You know, 14, of course, episodes, but I mean, in reality, it's like 28 races we're actually kind of doing. But I think we're going to have a fun season here. See if we can get Daruvala that world title. First lap in qualifying going pretty well. The car understeers a lot in Formula 2, but it's definitely got some slidiness to it. We have noticed in that video I did in Sao Paulo, so that's something we kind of have to keep our eyes out for, as I'm really struggling here as the lap goes on. Oliver Bierman currently on pole. Well, it reminds me of my F1 2013 series so far, where my one-shot qualifying pace is never impressive. We're going to be starting from the back of the grid for the sprint here in Bahrain. We got some work to do. Let's take Daruvala as far up as we can. So I'm not going to bother showing the pre-race for the sprint, but I will for the features at least. So 8 laps of racing here. We're going to be starting on the soft compound tire. Looks like a bunch of the guys around us are going to do the same thing, but some work to do. Let's go racing here from Bahrain, the sprint race. No formation lap. We're diving straight into the action here now, as we can only go forward from here, or we could go nowhere. That's always a possibility as well, as we're going to get fired up and underway. They are going at it up front already. You can see spreading across the whole circuit. I'm going to try and just slip up the inside right here and gain as many positions as I can. A bit of a lock up there from Martins, but overall 3 wide on the exit of turn 1. I'd say pretty successful start, you know, up into P15 with Daruvala. We got Enzo Fittipaldi right here aside of Cordial, but I'm pretty happy with that one. It could have been a lot worse, but overall it worked out pretty well. 8 laps of racing in the sprint. Feature 11 laps. I love watching the fire pop out of the back of these cars, actually. I gotta say, looks absolutely fantastic under the lighting. I am using a mod, by the way, here in Bahrain, and I use it for every night races. I'm gonna go for a lunge right here, but I use a mod that takes away that fog that looks just unbelievably bad in F1 23, so that's why you don't notice that. I think it looks a lot better. But overall, up to P14, we'll try and close in on the back of Fittipaldi. Everyone's kind of running in a bit of a train right now, which allows me to get that opportunity to gain some positions here now. What's our setup going to feel like? Looks like straight line speed's pretty good, so that makes me feel pretty confident here for the course of these next 8 or so laps. Lap 1 done. Cordial's got a bit of a run on us, so I'm going to go defensive here towards the first corner now. I'm still a bit of a noob when it comes to Formula 2. I have a hard time keeping up with it, not because I don't want to, I just never find the time to really invest into F2. I always want to, but it just doesn't happen. So I know, of course, Tail Porcher in position to win the world title when they get to Abu Dhabi. It's crazy how they go to Monza, and then they don't have another race until Abu Dhabi. It always kind of just takes out the excitement of a championship for me when you have that long of a break. But it looks like Porcher, of course, will seal the deal in Abu Dhabi. Can he do the same thing here in the game, however? That's the big question. I think Daruvala is going to have something to say about that. I've got a decent pace, but not good enough right now, and Cordial again is going to have a run. Oh, this time he's going to go aggressive down towards turn 1, looking up the inside, not feeling confident with what we have right now. Overall, I'm just going to go so deep into the first turn that I'm able to actually get back clear of Cordial. He can't even make a move, so now just trying my best to close in on Fittipaldi. I just need to be more aggressive. That's the thing. You're trying to get more comfortable with this car as quickly as you can with a car I have, you know, very, very little experience with. But I'm trying to build that confidence up as quick as I can, and hopefully, really, the goal is just to find it by the end of the sprint race to set us up well for the main feature, of course, where we'll have 3 extra laps at that point. I am gaining just little by little right now. I mean, we're talking just a couple of tenths, basically, a lap, it feels like, at this point now. A bit of a slip there into the final apex now. Actually gained a decent chunk of time on Fittipaldi, but it opens back up on the exit as it closes up towards the 0.7 of a second mark. 3.5 seconds to our teammate of Hauger. But yeah, we got some work to do here going into, you know, the main feature, that's for sure. The sprint, like I said, it was all about kind of finding that comfortability as well, confidence, and really just trying to get ourselves a better starting position for the feature, which we've already accomplished pretty well. But yeah, I'm slowly getting the hang of it with these F2 cards, but it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a tricky season, but I'm hoping, you know, an episode or two in, we're really going to start to kind of hit our strides. We are closing in on this battle. You know, now that I'm driving this car more, it reminds me almost of a little bit more of F122's handling model, where it's kind of like unpredictable. You don't really know what the car is going to do or what it wants to do. I think is kind of how I would describe it the most. I might go for it. I might go for it. Do I go for it? Do I lick the stamp? Oh, he's trying to go defensive, but I say no, and now I'm going to run a little bit wide. Not what I wanted to do there, but the job's done. We passed Fittipaldi with 2 laps to go, but I already know we're going to be under pressure from him in the DRS straight here, so it's not going to be, you know, job done quite yet. We're going to have to try and focus in. We have DRS from Nissani, hard on the gas, but Fittipaldi is going to be right there, and if he doesn't go for a move here, he's going to have it on the front straightaway. He's going to probably stay put here, I hope. Yes, he will, so we can focus in on this third sector and just trying to hit it as best as we can. We've actually opened up a nice gap as we start the final lap, and we continue to close in on Nissani. So white flag is in the air, and we are continuing to make improvements. The battle happening up front for the 10th or so position. Let's see what happens up there. That's Maloney and Martin's actually going at it now, but we're not going to be able to be a part of that battle. But the question is, do we have anything for Nissani before this thing comes to an end? He is struggling hard. Look at him. I mean, he cannot get going at all, trying to close in. Do I go for a lunge? You know, I could have maybe gone for it right there. Actually going to go right into the back of him. He is struggling on pace so hard, but now, honestly, he's probably going to be able to hold me off. I should have went for it right there. And now coming up to the final corner, it's not going to be enough for Nissani here, unfortunately. Now, I should have went for the move when I had the opportunity. Verschoor is going to win race 1. The sprint set himself up well for the main feature. P13 could have been better. You know, it all comes down to putting a good qualifying lap together, which we did not do. We had good pace towards the end of that race, which makes me feel pretty confident going into the feature as well. We actually get driver of the day for Daruvala. Let's see what we can do in the feature.
Welcome to Sakir and the Bahrain International Circuit, where the grid is forming up ready for today's race. Bahrain represents an exceptional 3.36 miles of racing. Lots of opportunities to overtake throughout its 15 corners. Now, this track has built a reputation for being brutal on the rear tyres, so keep an eye on how these young drivers manage their rubber. Strategy here could ultimately determine the winner of the race. So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's results with a look at the starting grid. Teo Porcher will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from him. And it's Henri Cordial in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Behrman, Iwasa, Dennis Hauger, Leclerc, Verschoor, Benavides, Doohan, Isaac Hadjar, Martins, Maloney, Roy Nissani, Enzo Fittipaldi, Novalak, Vesti, Crawford, Roman Stanek, Boschon, Correa, Miney, and Jan Daruvala completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's get down to the track. Alongside me today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. There looks to be a challenging race ahead of the drivers today, Davide. With that in mind, what are you looking out for today?
Well, Alex, I want to see how the drivers at the back of the grid are going to roll down. They'll need to make an impact in the early stages, and they're probably hoping for a bit of luck at the start. We may see some bold maneuvers out there today.
All right, on the grid now. I'm an idiot. I forgot the sprint does not matter for our starting position in Formula 2. Interesting strategy there on the alternate, but I'm just going to stick with the default softs to hards. Honestly, I think it's going to be the way to go here. So we're going to get ready for 11 laps of racing under the daytime here in Bahrain now. Is this going to be lights out? We're racing a terrible start. Oh my goodness, that was awful for you. We're going to just go up the right side just like we did in the sprint. Goodness gracious. Not a lot of room to make that work, and Vesti's going to cover it up. He's going to leave the door open. I'm just going to shove my nose in here and then try to not drive it in the back of the Alpine there of Martins as we continue around the outside. I know it's not the Alpine team, before you guys roast me now as we continue on. Martins in 12th, 13th for myself, 3 wide behind us here as Maloney is on the inside of Martins, and I'm just going to try and don't want to force it 3 wide as I nearly drive into the back of the Red Bull branded vehicle here. Now let's let these guys sort things out and hopefully set them up both for an overtaking opportunity. Pretty happy with this start so far. I could go 3 wide, but I just feel like that's just silly as these two just do not want to end this battle. But I think it's going to be Martins. Yes, it is Martins. He backs out of it. Maloney does. I'm going to try and go up the inside into turn 10. An aggressive move, but it's a successful move. We kind of close the door on the exit. Up into P12 we go. Let's see, however, this time, unlike the sprint, can we go further forward? We got a few extra laps to do it. Now in the sprint, we saw that the pace just kind of got better towards the end of the tire run. Obviously, this time, oh my goodness, we have a pit stop to do in this Grand Prix here. Around lap 5 or so is when we're going to be coming in, so we know that's going to play a bit of a role here as well. But it's just going to be seeing what the time brings here in the pace in this car. Oh my goodness, that was a bit of a moment right there. That puts us under pressure again from Maloney now as I was starting to put some pressure on Martins. And then you take one mistake like that at that corner, the car is just so unpredictable through there. You got to be extremely patient. It's the total opposite of an F1 car through there. You just got to be waiting until it's the right time to actually put that gas pedal down. So we at least make up some time. We got good pace here today compared to the sprint. We are just getting a little bit better and better. Purple sector 3 actually, which is quite impressive there. And already a couple laps until the pit window opens, but you can just see the run we're getting on the back into turn number 1. I'm hoping maybe we can set up a move on Martins at some point in this lap right here, going maybe into turn 1 on the next lap. All right, yeah, let's focus in on the next lap. A big moment again. Goodness gracious, that is starting to get a little bit out of control here. Another big slide, as now Maloney is going to put some pressure on us. Fortunately, it happens a little bit earlier in the lap, so maybe we can actually focus in on the rest of Sector 2 and going into 3 to try and close that gap to Martins again. I wasn't planning on sending it there, but I just kind of saw the hole open. But I think Martins is going to have the power. No, we got it. Yellow flag in front of us. Oh, we got an engine failure right there. Bernavides is going to be out of the Grand Prix. That puts us into now the top 10. I don't think that's going to lead to a safety car or anything there, as I'm curious to see how often safety cars are going to come out in this F2 career mode. I have them on increase as usual, like I always do. Red flags, however, only on standard, because I think increased red flags really just leads to silliness, and just it's far too common. And I'm not really interested in having a red flag like every 2 or 3 Grand Prix. It's just not realistic. So we stay ahead here in towards the left hander. The question is, how can we get through here? I think just be patient. Hard on the gas now. We stay ahead of Martins. Let's try to focus in on running down Hadjar. I like what I see here. We are closing the gap now down to 1.3, 1.2 seconds to Hadjar. You got Jake doing up there in P8 as well. We are pitting at the end of this lap, however, so just trying to get this gap as close as I can until we, of course, make that pit stop. Now, as we go down into turn 10 again, the car really just wants to slide there. The brakes, goodness gracious, we got to make some changes here. The front brake bias, I'm going to go up a little bit further. Those rears, they just want to kick out. All right, out of the final turn. Are we the only one coming in right here? Yes, this could be pretty good for us, actually, now, as we'll get down to that pit speed, 37 miles per hour. I was a little bit safe coming in there, but, I mean, overall, pretty happy with the first run that we've put together. Now it's just getting a good pit stop in here, as we'll come in, take the red stripe, throw the white stripe on. Here we go. Very slow, of course, compared to, say, a Formula 1 pit stop, 4.1 seconds. Now it's all about getting these tires warmed up and putting a really banger lap together here to set us up well for the final run. I think we got another failure here, looking at a yellow flag in front of us, and towards the end of Sector 2, going towards Sector 3. Yep, there it is. Mania is going to be out. That will not be a safety car either, so I'm pretty happy about that, because a safety car right now would screw me royally. So pretty happy that, as I can see, the leaders are starting to come into the pits here now. So now what can we do? I'm struggling on this opening lap, but oh, well, there it is. Why did that have to come out? I mean, is it for the car that was stopped there for 10 minutes? I am breaking the delta just to try and gain a few extra positions out of it. There we go. Still not going to be where we want to be. I believe, however, there is some cars. We gotta really slow down. There we go. I think there's going to be some cars that still have to pit, but I mean, we're following this delta as well. I notice it's really hard to get the tires to warm up here in the F2 car compared to the F1 car. All right, so we actually have the broadcast safety car on. Pourchaire's out in front over Cordeal. Obviously, we got screwed with the safety car. That puts us back in P16 instead of P10. Not at all where we want to be as we'll get ready to go back racing here. Some work to be done, and it's not going to be a lot of laps to go. All right, here we go. It's going to be 3 laps of racing. I hope my tires are warmed up. They are. Yes, thank you, AI. Oh, what are we doing? Oh, goodness gracious. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm so sorry, Fittipaldi. I hope that's not any kind of damage or a penalty. I don't think it's a damage. No, we're okay. So I'm going to go up to... No, not 3rd gear, because it's going to try and slow me down. So now we go. We got to wait. Here we go. Let's get back rolling. Fittipaldi right in front of us now. Pretty happy with the lunge. Never mind. We're losing some ground now. And I'm going to get really aggressive into T1 and to see what we can gain back here from the positions. I might be able to gain back everything. Oh my God, up the inside. I don't like sending it like that, but I'm getting back what I deserve, baby. Taking the position from Martins. He takes out the cone. I didn't leave him a lot of room to work with. We go from 16th or whatever to 1st or 10th. Sorry, there's an issue. We got to spin. And turn number 1 as well. It looks like anyways. That's, oh, it's Boshung out. Did he crash? I would assume he crashed. Who knows? We'll have to take a look after. But nonetheless, we have gotten back to where we were. Let's go get some points here. All right, just 2 to go. Right now, the gap to doing a bit more than I would like it to be, but can we do something with them? We got lucky, you know, obviously the safety car hurt us, but Bahrain turn 1 is perfect to just make a big lunge and gain a bunch of positions here. It's not many tracks we could have been able to actually do that at, so we got a bit lucky in that scenario. At least we gained a lot of ground right there on doing. We know where we can make an aggressive lunge coming up here in a few corners, so that's really what we're going to try and set up. I just drove into the back of him again, not what I wanted to do. I just kind of slid right into the back. Here we go, this is what we're looking for. A bad exit there. He's not going to have a chance. Up the inside we go. Dive it deep into the corner. That rear end just loves to kick out in this car, I've noticed there. But it allows us to take the position up into P9. How much further can we go? Can we get Hadjar? Oh my goodness, I can get no jar over here. And that's going to open the door for Doohan. Back up the inside. And that will put him back through into 9th place. And now, how do we make the move here? Do I swing up the inside? I think I do. Up the inside we go again. We'll just take the position right back. Force him out wide. Thank you very much. Up to 9th place. But now that's going to basically make an overtaking opportunity on Hadjar on this final lap basically impossible. 1 lap to go in Bahrain. Doohan's close. I'm going to get a little bit defensive here just to make sure I'm okay into this first corner, but yeah, we're going to be just fine. So, oh, he's going to send one around the left side. That's not going to work very well for him because I'm just not going to allow that to happen. But overall, up and down weekend for us. The sprint didn't go as good as it could have. Qualifying was rough, but we've continued to just make gains as the weekend has gone. However, when you get a poor starting position, Formula 2, everybody's in the same equipment. Of course, it's hard to go forward sometimes when you have a bad starting position. But I'm happy with what we did, and especially after the safety car issues. But Bahrain's a track I have a pretty poor record at, so I'm not even surprised, you know, that we struggled a little bit. I think we're going to go into Jeddah and have a decent run over there and honestly get ourselves right into the mix immediately early on in this season. I'm nowhere close enough to go run down Hadjar, so it's really just bringing it home at this point. Just making sure I don't make a silly mistake. It looks like Théo Pourchaire gonna pick up the victory in the feature. Down towards the final corner we go. Let's just cruise through here, make sure we get through it with no issues. Pourchaire wins. Doohan right on the back of us now. He's got nothing for us to the line. P9 with Daruvala in this Daruvala career mode. some work to do going into Jeddah. Overall, pretty happy with just moving our way forward, and I think we're going to have a way better effort in episode 2. Driver of the day once again. So here we have really just the results for the whole weekend, but we can take a look at the feature there. Cordial and Iwasa there on the podium as well, but let's just take a look at the standings here. Porchero with a 7-point gap over Versure, 8 over Iwasa. We got 2 points on the weekend down in P11. Some work to do right there. P5 in the constructors for MP Motorsport. That'll wrap it up for us. Episode 2 and the next one will be headed to Jeddah. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a great day.